The crew of the icebreaker have suffered at the hands of the Dreamers, but now they have Messenger, the leader of the Dreamer cult, in custody. The answers that they seek are within their grasp, but things may not be so simple. Not all is as it seems in the City of Union, and as Bear delves into the mysteries surrounding the phenomenon that afflicts the coast, he comes up against forces that defy his understanding of reality. To find out what he is looking for, Bear must learn to use both science and shamanism before he, and possibly everybody else in the Union, suffers the same fate as his father. Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. It is that time of the year again when I once again look into a book by Stephen William Hanna from the Interloper trilogy. And the book in question this time, hold up a little bit, I'm going to have to pick you up and show you the cover, is The 100th Question. I have to say, this is a very good looking cover. Like, not only is it striking to look at, but you know, when you take it a little bit more into focus and you look at all the various elements that actually play a role within the story, it becomes that much more interesting. But anyway, you didn't click on this video to hear me talk about the cover. You clicked on it to hear me talk about the book. Also, I apologize for this little glare right here. The weather is acting a little bit strangely, and now I got this weird optical effect in my background. It actually kind of fits the theme, so I'm not gonna do anything anything more about it. Before I delve into the actual book, I have to say that it actually takes 3 repetitions of something in order to establish the pattern. So when I said that it is now that time of the year, well, that's not really the case, because with only 2 examples, the pattern hasn't been established yet. Nevertheless, next year it will be, because I will, because I will complete the pattern by looking at the 3rd book in this trilogy same time next year. So yeah, sorry, Stephen. Assuming you've been watching these reviews or following up on them, I have to tell you that you will have to wait 1 more year to find out my my opinion on the entirety of the trilogy. Anyway, my connection to these to these books aside, what can I say about the second of them that makes it what it is about it that makes it distinctive? Well, the TLDW for this review is that the main flaw, quote unquote, that this book would have is that it does not stand out to the same degree that its predecessor did. There are still plenty of intriguing developments and pieces to it that make for an intriguing and immersive reading experience. Yet none of them are always presented in the most favorable light, or in the manner that would most effectively allow the elements to come together. Nevertheless, it remains a captivating piece of dystopian or apocalyptic fiction with a bit of horror mixed in. So if that speaks to you in any way, I can say that the odds of you enjoying reading this book are quite high. And now that I'm done with the general information, it's time I delved a little bit into some specifics. The plot of this book follows the same leads as the previous book, who, after having concluded their story in their story there, find themselves stuck within a dealing with another complication that that threatens to make their general efforts much more difficult. As they do their best to deal with this new complication, they find that old issues start reemerging, ultimately placing them between a rock and a hard place. The plotting of this book is a little bit slower and more meandering than usual, primarily because of the efforts that are put in place for in order for the characters to solve the complication, and that requires that they follow a less linear path, that they meander a little bit more throughout throughout the society presented within this book, and and I will say that the opportunity is very well utilized to present the setting and the various segments of it, both from a personal standpoint, i.e., what connections these characters have to these segments of society, and also from a functional technocratic perspective, i.e., exploring what purpose this particular segmentation of society actually has to the narrative as a whole, and to ensure its survival when compared to the in the face of the threat that defines this setting. The pacing, therefore, is more meditative, not as sharp as it perhaps could have been, as even though it is a mystery, it is not. Even though as it is very much befits a mystery, and it because the setting very much befits, because the pacing very much befits a mystery, being more meditative, more pensive in that sense. But as I was reading this, something else stuck out to me, namely the fact that this book and maybe even the trilogy is actually written around a mystery box. For those of you who are unfamiliar, a mystery box is a peculiar element within the setting, or maybe even the setting itself, that has for unknown reasons an outsized influence over the over the narrative. Over the narrative. The resulting story isn't really about uncovering what is inside this titular box, but more with dealing with the ramifications of what exactly the ramifications that are set forth by this mystery. As an example, consider The Walking Dead, which for a zombie show, I don't think ever really describes how it is that those zombies came to be, or how it is that they were able to take over everything. Because that is not what the story is about. The story is instead very much about people trying to survive and rebuild. As you might have been, I gotta go somewhere else first. Other examples of stories using mystery boxes are the granddaddy of them all, Lost, Star Wars Episode 7, and arguably The Rings of Power. And in recent times, however, this model of storytelling has fallen out of favor, primarily because while it is very easy to establish a mystery and pin various characteristics atop it, it is quite a bit more difficult to actually address that mystery in a manner that is both that is both interesting overall for an audience to confront, while also leaving no question unaddressed. To be fair to Stephen, he knows he has a little bit more skill and flair than the authors who ended up ruining this storytelling convention, and he is able to make it work by very cleverly playing around with presentation, narrative, and world building. only introducing a new segment of the narrative when he is done introducing a new facet of the world. As such, the world building of the story, works in double time. Aside from how it is integrated within the plot, as I've already mentioned before, with the mystery and functional and personal aspects of it. It also works to paint a broader picture as the various segments of the world are delved into one at a time, and then before the story itself takes a step back in order to allow both the characters and the readers free rein to put it all together. The resulting tapestry is fluid, dynamic, vivid, and eclectic, allowing for the opportunities, possibilities, challenges, and struggles that that the characters are confronted with due to this ambiance and environment to more effectively stand out. It also helps with character work, as the leads in particular are given more definition and dimension, as not only are their characteristics and backstories delved upon a little bit more, but also because the narrative puts them in more situations where they can showcase their initiatives, where they have to act more autonomously, and thereby showcase their reactions and their responses to a whole slew of complications, and in the process also allowing their strengths and expertise to shine through in ways that they really haven't, ultimately leading to a very satisfying narrative conclusion. Overall, while this book is a little bit more dramatic than some might expect, and even though the author isn't always certain how surreal the story is actually supposed to be, the total package of this book nevertheless paints a very intriguing and immersive landscape, allowing something for all potential readers to delve into and find quite enjoyable. My final rating for the 100th question is a 4 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book itself or to my review of it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and The Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective master links in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, I have a second channel where I talk about whatever crosses my mind, though it's typically still related to presentation of various narratives, though in media outside of the printed word. If you want to know more about my thoughts on the printed word as a medium, then I suggest you stay on this channel and go through my extensive backlog of book reviews, writing advice, and miscellaneous other topics. None of those interest you, then I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you want the rest of your day, because it is your day after all. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.